So hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Blackbeard because obviously in the recent chapters we have got to know many new things about Blackbeard, because in the recent chapters we got introduced to the one of the strongest characters in One Piece till now, whose name is Rox D. Xebec, and we also found out that Blackbeard is actually the son of Rox D. Xebec. In the recent chapter we also saw the backstory of Rox D. Xebec. I mean, not the complete backstory, but we actually saw how he formed his crew and how he became one of the most wanted man in the world. And in this chapter we also saw a very crazy scene where we saw that Rox D. Xebec actually knew about Emu, and we see him going into the flower hall by kidnapping 5 kings to make a deal with Emu, I guess. And we see him sitting in front of Emu in the flower hall. Obviously we still don't know how Rox D. Xebec knew about Emu. We don't know what Rox D. Xebec was doing before we saw him in the reverie. I mean, I have a theory that he was a king of some kind of country which was affiliated with the world government, but it is not confirmed yet. But the scene that we saw right now about Rox D. Xebec going up to Emu actually explains a scene that we previously saw, where we saw Emu with photos or bounty posters of some people. At that time we did not know why Emu was carrying those bounty posters. But now at this point of the story we already know why Emu had those posters. We know that Emu had teared the posters of Luffy and Blackbeard, and he had stabbed the photo of Princess Shirahoshi, and he was also carrying a photo of Princess Vivi. And of course we knew that he was carrying the photo of Princess Shirahoshi because she is actually one of the 3 greatest ancient weapons, the Poseidon. Now we know that Emu was carrying the photo of Princess Vivi because he had some relation with her ancestor Princess Lily of the Alabasta kingdom. And obviously we now know that why he was carrying Luffy's bounty poster, because Luffy is the reincarnation of Joy Boy, and he also has the sun god Nika's devil fruit. But in the recent chapter, how we saw Rox D. Xebec casually going up to Emu and actually threatening Emu and saying that he would come back actually explains why Emu would have Blackbeard's poster. Because obviously Blackbeard is the son of Rox D. Xebec, and obviously if Rox D. Xebec had already done something like that, Emu would actually be careful of Blackbeard and would not let Blackbeard doing something like that. So obviously Emu was keeping an eye on Blackbeard. And obviously after this chapter has revealed many things, obviously people are making many theories about Blackbeard, and there are many theories that Blackbeard might be Xebec's clone actually. I mean, even I added my theories to it in my previous video. I actually saw a theory about Blackbeard being actually the son of Rox, but actually Rox might have sent Blackbeard to the mad scientist so that they can experiment on Blackbeard and actually make him a much stronger. And people are saying that this might be the explanation, like how Blackbeard is able to use 2 devil fruit and he does not need to sleep. So we are proposing that Blackbeard is genetically advanced like Sanji and his brothers were, which is something I definitely think is possible. But there is also another theory that I saw, that maybe Rox had some kind of soul related devil fruit, and actually after he died he actually sent his soul into Blackbeard's body, and that is the explanation for Blackbeard's weird powers and his weird body. And while the theory is very crazy and very interesting, I do not think that Oda is going to go this route, and I will tell you the reason that I think Oda is not going to go in this route. The reason is that we have seen in One Piece that One Piece is actually a story of inherited wills. How we saw that Shanks had inherited the will of Roger, and Luffy had inherited both the will of Roger and Joy Boy. And in the recent Wano arc we saw that how Momonosuke actually inherited the will of Kozuki Oden. And that is my reasoning that Oda is writing One Piece as a story of inherited wills and not a story of transferred souls. So that's why I do not think that Oda is going to go in this route. Blackbeard being genetically advanced, I do not think that it is far out of its reach. And I have also made a theory talking about how Blackbeard took Whitebeard devil fruit, and maybe Blackbeard is not actually genetically advanced or his body is not special. Maybe Blackbeard's devil fruit, the Yami Yami Numi, is very special devil fruit. If you actually want to see the video, you can check out the video. I will link it in the description. But in the recent chapter, after we got Rox D. Xebec's backstory, we can definitely say that Blackbeard is following in the footsteps of Rox D. Xebec, because the things that we have seen Blackbeard doing in the seas are very similar to what Xebec Xebec did. Like we saw how Xebec used to loot ships to fund his crew, and similarly we saw that Blackbeard after the Marineford War went after the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates to defeat them and become an emperor of the sea by taking the territories that Whitebeard owned. We also saw how Rocks used to participate in Xebec fights in brutal challenges to win the strongest members for his crew. Similarly, we saw how Blackbeard went into Impel Down level 6 and made the prisoners their fight, and even among those strongest criminals he actually chose the fighters who actually won the fights and survived till the end, which were the strongest of them. Then he recruited them into his crew. Also how we saw Rocks taking over Hachinosu, the pirate island, to make it his home base, recruiting all the criminals that were present in the Hachinosu island. And we know that Blackbeard has also captured the pirate island Hachinosu, and he has already made it his home base. Something else that we have seen Blackbeard doing is collecting devil fruits. We have seen that he is trying to collect the strongest devil fruits in the world, and he is giving the devil fruits to his crewmates so that he can make his crew even stronger. Obviously it must have a purpose of some kind. By everything that I told you right now, we can definitely try to find out what the main goals of Blackbeard are, and I am going to tell you right now what I think the main goals of Blackbeard are. So the first goal that I think Blackbeard has is to become the king of the world and find the One Piece, because obviously we know Xebec had the goal to become the king of the world, and Blackbeard would have the same dream. And also one thing is that I definitely think Blackbeard also wants to find the One Piece. And why I think that is that I definitely think that Blackbeard's second goal might be knowledge. I mean knowledge about the world and how the world was in the Void Century 800 years ago. And my reason for thinking that is we have seen Blackbeard shown interest in many things, and we know that Blackbeard knows things that normal people actually do not know in the world of One Piece. And someone like Blackbeard would definitely want to know everything that he does not know about the world. And to do all that, definitely Blackbeard would have to meet Emu. Like Xebec said, he will return and he will have to defeat both Emu and the world government, fulfill both of his goals if these are his goals. But the third goal that I think Blackbeard has is revenge. Revenge for what, you ask me? Obviously the death of his father, Rocks D. Xebec. And in One Piece we have already seen Blackbeard going after Ace, who was the son of Roger, and we know that he has his eye on Luffy, who is the grandson of Garp, and Garp and Roger were the main forces that defeated Rocks D. Xebec. Blackbeard was definitely the person who was most responsible for Ace's death. And even in the series we have seen Blackbeard going after the Revolutionary Army's secret base once. Obviously he might have done it mostly for knowledge and for knowing many things about the world and strengthening his crew, but definitely I think there is a part that made him go after Dragon, because Dragon is the son of Monkey D. Garp. And obviously we cannot forget about Blackbeard and Shanks. We know that Blackbeard and Shanks are already after each other in the series of One Piece, mostly because we know that Shanks was actually an apprentice in the Roger's crew, and Roger and Garp had a hand in killing Xebec, I guess. And if you remember, Shanks is the son of Figureland Garland, a celestial dragon who is actually also the leader of the Holy Knights. We were told that Garland actually made a name for himself in the God Valley incident. We don't know what he did in the God Valley incident. Maybe he actually had a hand in defeating Rocks. That might be the reason that Blackbeard is also after Shanks and the world government. Maybe when he killed Whitebeard and took his devil fruit to make himself stronger, that was not the only purpose. Maybe Whitebeard had actually betrayed Rocks in the God Valley incident, because we know Rocks pirates were very strong, and I do not think that only the Roger pirates and Garp and the Navy were able to stop them by themselves, and maybe that at that point of time Whitebeard had actually betrayed Rocks. Yes, I think that Blackbeard's main goal might not be revenge, but I think that revenge has a part in every goal that Blackbeard has, because obviously Blackbeard has to honor Rock's legacy and become the king of the world. But these are all just my theories. Tell me in the comment sections what you thought about them, and if you like the video, drop down a like, subscribe to my channel, and keep theorizing.